I've been on a calendar, but I've never been on time. Dogs never bite me, just humans. No one ever told me I was pretty when I was a little girl. All little girls should be told they're pretty, even if they aren't. Some of my foster families used to send me to the movies to get me out of the house, and there I'd sit all day and way into the night. Up in front, there with the screen so big, a little kid all alone, and I loved it. I loved anything that moved up there, and I didn't miss anything that happened, and there was no popcorn either. Before marriage, the girl has to make love to a man to hold him. After marriage, she has to hold him to make love to him. Fame is fickle, and I know it has its compensations, but it also has its drawbacks, and I've experienced them both. It's not too much fun to know yourself too well or think you do. Everyone needs a little conceit to carry them through and past the falls. I never wanted to be Marilyn. It just happened. Marilyn's like a veil I wear over Norma Jean. I defy gravity. I have too many fantasies to be a housewife. I guess I am a fantasy. There was my name up in lights. I said, God, somebody's made a mistake. But there it was, in lights. And I sat there and said, remember, you're not the star. Yet there it was up in lights. If there is only one thing in my life that I am proud of, it's that I've never been a kept woman. Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. I'm very definitely a woman, and I enjoy it. A man has a tendency to accept you the way you are, while most women immediately start to pick flaws and want to change you. I am not a victim of emotional conflicts. I am human. I am invariably late for appointments, sometimes as much as 2 hours. I've tried to change my ways, but the things that make me late are too strong and too pleasing. In Hollywood, the girl's virtue is much less important than her hairdo. Sometimes I think it would be easier to avoid old age, to die young, but then you'd never complete your life, would you? You'd never wholly know you. The thing I want more than anything else, I want to have children. I used to feel for every child I had, I would adopt another. I was honored when they asked me to appear at the president's birthday rally in Madison Square Garden. There was like a hush over the whole place when I came on to sing happy birthday, like if I had been wearing a slip, I would have thought it was showing or something. I thought, oh my gosh, what if no sound comes out? All my stepchildren carried the burden of my fame. Sometimes they would read terrible things about me, and I'd worry about whether it would hurt them. I would tell them, "Don't hide these things from me. I'd rather you ask me these things straight out, and I'll answer all your questions." Creativity has got to start with humanity, and when you're a human being, you feel, you suffered. You're gay, you're sick, you're nervous or whatever. It's often just enough to be with someone. I don't need to touch them, not even talk. The feeling passes between you both. You're not alone. We human beings are strange creatures and still reserve the right to think for ourselves. If I'm a star, then the people made me the star. It's nice to be included in people's fantasies, but you also like to be accepted for your own sake. I am involved in a freedom ride protesting the loss of the minority rights belonging to the few remaining earthbound stars. All we demanded was our right to twinkle. There is a need for aloneness, which I don't think most people realize for an actor. It's almost having certain kinds of secrets for yourself that you'll let the whole world in on only for a moment, when you're acting. But everybody is always tugging at you. They'd all like sort of a chunk of you. When I was 5, I think, that's when I started wanting to be an actress. I loved to play. I didn't like the world around me because it was kind of grim, but I loved to play house. It was like you could make your own boundaries. I don't want everybody to see exactly where I live, what my sofa or my fireplace looks like. When it comes to gossip, I have to readily admit men are as guilty as women. What I really want to say, that what the world really needs is a real feeling of kinship. Everybody, stars, laborers, Negroes, Jews, Arabs, we are all brothers. I used to think as I looked out on the Hollywood night, there must be thousands of girls sitting alone like me dreaming of being a movie star. But I'm not going to worry about them. I'm dreaming the hardest. I want to be an artist, not a celluloid aphrodisiac. I remember when I was in high school I didn't have a new dress for each special occasion. The girls would bring the fact to my attention, not always too delicately. The boys, however, never bothered with the subject. They were my friends, not because of the size of my wardrobe but because they liked me. An actress is not a machine, but they treat you like a machine. A money machine. I don't know if high society is different in other cities, but in Hollywood, important people can't stand to be invited someplace that isn't full of other important people. They don't mind the few unfamous people being present because they make good listeners. Black men don't like to be called boys, but women accept being called girls. Husbands are chiefly good as lovers when they are betraying their wives.